Wiener Dog Joe. That is our show. Wiener Dog Joe. That is our show. Wiener Dog Joe. Coming to you live at the break of dawn. Welcome back, you Kringles and Krampuses, to Wiener Dog Joe and the Bun in the morning. Episode number 45.
Yeah.
With a 5 after it.
4-5.
That's the number 4 with a 0, but then also a 5.
That's 405, my friend.
That's mathematics, baby. I know everything.
405 episodes.
I am Salinger Sloane, along with my sexy colleague Bogart Fats, and today is a weird one. It's a very weird one. Lots of stuff going on today, and I feel like we probably need to bring the listeners up to speed before we even get into like how we're doing, because how we're doing is very much tied into what the hell's going on.
Tell us about it, Salinger. Bring us up to speed.
So should I do my anime voice here for the first part? Right?
I think we need a little Naruto vibe going. Bring it on.
Last time on Wiener Dog Joe.
Part 1. So
Very good, very good. Convincing.
I am coming to you live from a desert island.
At the break of dawn.
It's not quite the break of dawn. We got to be real here. Not today. Our time schemes are going to be a little different. I'm not actually sure where I am. Is it the break of dawn at the studio?
It's the break of the dawn at the studio right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Bright and early.
Okay. The sun has been up here for quite some time. So
time difference.
This came off the back of one of our listeners who wrote in a couple times called Miss Yamtoes. And she had a fluctuating sort of game plan to get me to get to a desert island. For some reason, she was really fixated upon me doing this. Eventually I am now here. But the deal was that I could come out for a day, meet the girl of my dreams who's out here apparently, and then figure out if I want to stay here and do another thing, I guess. Do you remember what the exact details were?
The details, I've got it here in the Wiener Dog archives, actually. Okay. And indexed
Let me know the precise wording here.
Right, indexed under Y for Yamtoes. And it says that if you stay on the island for 1 year, you will, and the love of your life, the perfect person for you is there on the island. If you stay there for a year with that person, then you get to come back and bring that person back with you. On the island, You're not provided with anything. However, there are enough fish and vegetation and things to survive, and there are not like predators coming after you. So it wouldn't be so horrible. And that was pretty much the deets.
So I'm coming to you in such a state of regret and anger that I didn't remember the details. So thank you for clearing that up.
Wow.
So I was picked up. It was labeled as a private flight, right? This is number 1.
Private flight.
So I got to the airport.
Classy.
I got to the airport, and it's just a small regular plane, and it had nobody in it, but they still put me in coach, which was weird. They only gave me like 1 packet of peanuts. Nobody was there when I tried to lodge a complaint, pressing the button above my goddamn head. And then I got to thinking on this flight, I was like, wait a minute, this is very weird. And then I thought about the logic of this whole thing in general. I was like, wait a minute, the perfect woman, my perfect woman, is waiting for me on an island. Really? How does this person know what my perfect lady is? I don't even know what that is.
So you're sitting there.
There's no fucking way.
You're sitting there, you're button mashing the stewardess button, and the epiphany dawns on you. This is really suspicious. I've been thinking the same thing. It's like, what are this woman's motives? Who does she work for? Like, what's going on here? So tell us what's going on the island. Like, all right, so you're on the plane.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Yeah. So the island, I had to jump out of the plane with a parachute.
Wow.
They did not land.
Wow.
And it is fruitful here, literally. There's a lot of fruit, mangoes and stuff. There's a small house that appears to have been populated by missionaries some time ago. Some supplies in there, but no woman. No woman to be found.
I love mangoes. I love missionaries, but...
In fact, well, there's no missionaries either. It looks like it's probably in the 70s or something.
Fair.
Maybe the 1870s. I don't know.
Do go on.
Long abandoned.
Do go on.
But this is where my suspicions became reality. Because all I found was a blow-up doll of Melina from Elden Ring with a note attached, and it says, "Thou shalt remain maidenless."
Oh God. Well,
so I got trolled.
Starting off the day with a big face palm right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, now I'm in quite a bind here. Like, what am I gonna do? The communications equipment supplied to me by the Navy is allowing me to like call in and do the show with you guys.
The Navy.
But they say they can't afford to send a ship, to pick me up.
Huh.
And since I've been here for over a day now, I have learned that the other side of the island has cannibals.
Wow. So she was also lying about that situation.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Miss Yamtos, if you're listening, we need some answers. Please write in, whether that be in the mailbag or in the comments. And
I'm sending bounty hunters after this person. Yeah, when I get back.
Hey, we don't know who we're fucking with though. Like, this might be someone really powerful.
I don't care.
Okay.
This is done. This is happening.
All right.
I mean, see, the worst part is I think I angered the cannibals and offered them the blow up doll. They're like, no. Well, they said something. I'm assuming it was no, an angry no.
We're gonna send the Wiener Dog hit squad after you, Miss Yamtos. Apparently, but Salinger over there is gonna send them out. So watch your back.
Well, first I have to get back.
That's
but for now, do you want to hear the kicker to all this?
Oh, there's another.
This will be a nice Easter egg for long-time listeners as well, but not so much of a good time for me. It turns out this is also the resting place of Hurricane Tim Allen. He just circles the island. You'll hear him. Can you hear him back there in the background?
Oh, I do. There he is.
Yeah.
Oh, listen close. Yeah. Listen close. It's getting louder. Oh God. Oh, wait. I think he's going.
It becomes so loud sometimes.
Wow. Yeah, he went by pretty close.
Luckily, it only happens every 20 minutes or so, but when it does, it's... Yeah, so we'll just have to deal with that today.
That's really the cherry on top right there is Hurricane Tim Allen going around and around.
Yeah.
So you can't even get drunk because he's sucking up all your booze. Even if you were to ferment like some of the fruit into alcohol, like
there are some like empty but capped liquor bottles in this like hut that the missionaries used. So I'm sure that Tim Allen just slurped it up. I'm not pleased. But it's fair to say I am not pleased about the situation, and I do not appreciate being called maidenless with a fucking Elden Ring blow-up doll. Not pleased.
Let's ignore the disrespect for a minute and focus on the positives. I mean, how are the beaches? Big sandy beaches? Like, is it nice?
I am on a nice sandy beach. I think it's somewhere in the Caribbean or the South Pacific, based on the temperature and the time of day.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't know how I'm going to get out of here. I steal a canoe from the cannibals. I don't know. If we weren't in this other bind, I get Swaggy to come out here in the Wiener Dog Joe balloon. But unfortunately...
He's got his own shit going on.
Swaggy is locked away in the Wiener Dog Joe bunker somewhere in the Nevada desert. I won't say where precisely.
That would be dangerous to reveal that.
Yeah, it would. So this is like point of order number 2.
Last time on Wiener Dog Joe, part 2.
Talking about Swaggy and his jimmies. Do you want to regale us with the story, Mr. Co-host?
Do I want to regale the story of Swaggy and his jimmies? Well,
I can do it if you don't.
Well, let's do it together, and you can fill in the details that I missed.
Let's start at the beginning. Yeah. You angered the APB,
the Angry Penis Brigade.
Yeah, which you still will not tell us what that is.
Right. Well, they were upset about the way I decided to conduct myself at the yearly social event, and I disagree vehemently with their opinions on that. But I shall not speak on the subject because there may be a lawsuit pending. However, we offered in exchange. Well, Richard Nixon actually made an offer to us, is what happened at this point.
Yeah, so they threatened legal action if you did not surrender your badge and gun. You told them to go sit and spin.
Right, so that legal action might still be pending.
It might, I'm sure it is. I think they're actually like amassing for a violent overtake of the Wiener Dog Joe studio. That's why we had Swaggy flown out to the bunker to protect his jimmies.
Right. So Richard Nixon called him. Why don't you tell us what Tricky Dick said?
Yeah, he said he'd make the whole thing go away if he could have an afternoon with Swaggy to wrestle his jimmies or have his jimmies wrestled by Swaggy. I can't remember exactly what.
Up in the Wiener dog balloon, he wanted to take him alone.
Yeah, we're telling this in a very circuitous way. That's okay.
Anyhow.
So basically, we turned him down, but then when I was negotiating with the APB...
Well, to be fair, we wanted to accept the offer, but Swaggy was unwilling, so we can't force the
he didn't
intern.
want to
He's
take
not
one
a
for the
slave.
team.
Yeah, what an ungrateful intern.
We couldn't force him. So basically, we're hiding him there, and that leaves Bogart Fats as the only one in the studio. Him and Dudley, my cat Dudley. He's looking after Dudley for me.
Right. How are those negotiations going with the APB? Any progress or no?
Well, I mean, I'm here now. I don't know.
All right.
I'm only in contact with you guys.
Gotcha. Well, I've got the studio well defended here. I'm ready for the APB brigade, the Angry Penis Brigade to come through.
Yeah, right. That would be what that is.
And I've got they. So I understand on their side they've got Mike Tyson. So I have gone ahead and conscripted Evander Holyfield to be on my side. So, he can box Tyson out. And then I've got a river full of alligators that I've actually booby trapped it. So it just got a disguise on top. Looks like a nice field of grass. The Angry Penis Brigade is going to come on over that, charge in the studio, and going to get eaten by the alligators. And then, Mike and Evander are going to be over there boxing. It's just going to be a crazy situation.
To anybody whose first episode of Wiener Dog Joe this is, I'm sorry. This might sound like we are speaking a completely different language, but it does actually make sense if you go back. I promise. I promise it does.
Oh, Lord.
But yeah, Swaggy, how are you doing in the bunker, man? Because, see, one of the things about the bunker is that it wasn't fully operational. We only commissioned it recently. So although Swaggy is able to use like the tech there for recording and broadcasting, there are no lights set up. So he only has the glow of the computer and candlelight.
Holy shit, dude. It's hot. It's so hot.
Sorry about that,
here.
Swaggy.
There's no AC, or like there was AC, but it's broken, and I'm just baking. I don't know like what part of the desert you guys ship me out to, but holy shit, dude.
We can't tell you.
I can't say.
For your own safety.
I'm sorry about that, but not as sorry as I am about the pantry, which is currently only stocked with Flamin' Hot Cheeto Mountain Dew. That like really, really spicy ramen that has like the chicken breathing fire on it.
Just in case
there's no water down there.
In case our listeners are curious, Flamin' Hot Cheeto Mountain Dew is a real product that exists.
It's a real product. We got some.
And we actually distilled it down into a cappuccino flavor, and that's what I'm drinking today. Too bad you're missing out.
Don't let Dudley drink too much of that today.
Oh, Dudley, get away from there. Get out of there.
He loves the cappuccinos.
He does. We take good care of each other, me and Duds.
But see, Swaggy, like, it's a good thing that the toilet is up and running, because you're probably going to need it.
That's literally what
the only thing you got is spicy ramen and Flamin' Hot Cheeto Mountain Dew.
It's my only water source is the toilet. I've literally been living there because I can't survive without the toilet water to cool me
Cooking
down.
ramen in the toilet.
You joke, but...
well, like, have you tried the Flamin' Hot Cheeto Mountain Dew? That has water in it.
I've been trying to use it as like an alternative energy source to maybe get the AC working again. Like, I don't know. It hasn't worked so far. I'll see. I'll keep trying. We'll see how it goes.
That's good. Well, you see, listeners, these like luxurious digs we provide our intern, and he doesn't even want to go up in an air balloon and let Richard Nixon get his rustle some jimmies. Ungrateful.
See, we're just assuming we know what that means as well. Maybe he's just talking about like playing cards with him.
Yeah, you don't know what Russell's Richard Nixon's jimmies.
Yeah.
I mean, his name is Dick after all, so we don't want to make any assumptions.
Well, the fact that the APB is now entirely fixated on going Jimmy wrestling with young Swaggy, we can safely assume. And the fact that they're so angry about the whole thing that we've yet to give him up that they're threatening to like attack the studio.
Well, I promise you, Swaggy, if they manage to break through my defenses, the alligators and the boxer, I will not give up your location. No matter what they do to me. They may bring out their angry penises and they may brigade, but I shall not break.
God.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr.
So this
Fats.
goes into this whole, like, I still have so many questions about this. They wouldn't tell me what they do. You wouldn't tell me what they do, even though you were a member. It sounds angry, though, and possibly sexual, which makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah. We may see the worst of
but
it.
yeah, once again, apologies if this is your first episode. We know it sounds like nonsense, but it is all true. It's all happening. And if you listen back, it will all make sense.
Indeed. And if you continue to listen, there is more yet to come.
Yeah, your penis will grow bigger, just in general. Yeah.
Well, enough about us. Let's talk about what's going on in the world, shall we?
Yeah, let's do the show.
All
Let's
right.
do the fucking show.
All right.
Tell me what's going on in the world. I have a couple of news stories. I pocketed them before I flew off because I knew I was going to do a show out here.
Oh, nice. Okay, so they're a little outdated, at least from yesterday, but that's all right. Why don't you hit us with a couple? I've got a little bit of a different approach to my news segment today. I'm actually going to be doing an in-depth expose, and I will reveal the topic when it comes around. So let's run through some stories first, and then I'll get into that.
Okay, you want me to do these first?
Yeah, why not?
I can do that as I shelter myself from the hot island sun.
Yeah.
I like this one. I don't know how old this is, but the tagline is, Ohio State Senator used a fake background on a Zoom meeting while driving. The meeting was about distracted driving legislation.
No, come on.
You can't make that shit up. I mean, you could, but I didn't. It's from the Irish Times.
It just makes me shrug my shoulders. Fucking typical. Like, that's what they do. That's what politicians do.
I feel like, so I saw a comment in one of these, I don't remember which one. It might have been something about flaming Cheeto meat, honestly, where they just simply said, we are living in the idiocracy timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you can just say that about so many of our goddamn news stories. Like, that's like the tone of it is like, oh my God.
And these are the elected people. And that's why, like, one thing that I fully believe about politicians and some other professions as well that I won't get into, but like, is that like you kind of have to be a bit of a psychopath to get into that, to want that pressure and power. And then those sort of people believe that everyone else is just as fucked up as them, so they just act accordingly. It's like, the world's unfair, so I'm just going to make it unfair in my favor. And they just do all this crazy fucked up shit. And it's like, just honest people who would act fairly don't go into those careers to begin with. So it attracts that type of person. That's always how I feel.
There has to be one or two, right?
Certainly they
Somewhere.
pop up. Certainly they pop up. I mean, but for the most part, But
it's almost like the exemption justifies the rule, or however that's said.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
not the right way to say it.
But I know
I'm
what you
pretty
mean.
sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty depressing, but also pretty funny that he went through all that effort to put up the, like, rather than just pulling the fuck over.
Yeah, right. It's really not that harmful
So
in the
much
grand
more
scheme
effort.
of like the way politicians ruin the world. It's not that bad, but it's just the juxtaposition there, the irony was what makes it a very special little story. And I got one more before we move on to your expose. I'm interested in what that entails.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on. But this one is about a woman who married her pet cat in a bid to stop landlords from separating them.
Cute. Didn't know that
she's
was
married
legal,
her cat
but
in a bid to stop future landlords from separating them. So she has previously been forced to rehome 3 animals by landlords who did not allow pets in their properties. So I guess the thinking here is that if you marry your cat, then even if somebody doesn't want pets, they can't legally enforce that?
right, they're not a pet at that point. But where could you legally marry a cat?
I don't know. Swaggy? Look that up.
Yeah, please. What states can you legally marry? Was that in the U.S., that story?
Southeast London.
Okay, so I am
so
curious.
It's them dirty Brits.
Yeah, let's find out about England and the U.S. on those
Here,
laws.
I'll send you this story, young Swaggies, in case it helps you.
'Cause I'm really curious how she pulled that off. Like, that seems really interesting that you can legally marry an animal. But I like the energy. I mean, fuck it. Like, you're not going to take me away from my cat. The cat's been living here with me for years. Like,
If you marry Dudley while I'm gone, I'll be very upset.
well,
Although, can you gay marry a cat? Is that acceptable? Or is it
there are
just
certain
straight?
states, I'm certain states where I'm sure they'd sooner let you marry a cat than gay marry anyone.
Oh yeah, it might be more acceptable. Yeah, to
Yeah.
Republicans and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the Texans and the Floridians. Sorry, guys out there. We know that there are some beautiful people in these states, but y'all have some fucked up shit going on. Legal easily.
Yes.
Legal easily?
That is true. Legal easily.
Legalitically.
Legalatically.
Legalateralisms.
Legolas.
Legolas and Gimli sitting in a tree. And what is your expose, Mr. Bogart Fats?
Do we have any info on the marrying cats, or are we still searching through the encyclopedia?
Still searching.
All right. Let's first get into what I've got to talk about today here, though. So,
Time for an expose.
Time for an
with
expose.
Bogart Fats, ace reporter.
Bogart Fats coming at you live with a primetime Wiener Dog expose. And what I got for you today is very, very modern and relevant. Today we're talking about the MTV hit show Pimp My Ride, starring XTZ Exhibit.
Wait, have they done one of those since 1999? Is that still a thing?
It's 1999 right now, son. Don't you know?
No, it's not.
I have no
2022,
idea.
baby.
I have no idea when Pimp My Ride
Okay.
stopped, but I have gone down a rabbit hole lately of journalistic research on Pimp My Ride, and I have
Pimp
the
My Ride.
expose here. For those of you that don't know the story behind Pimp My Ride, I'm going to start with the small and work my way up to the biggest. All right. So let's
Yeah.
start with
Sounds good.
So let's start ahead here on the Pimp My Ride expose. So first, the most minor thing, but still hilarious. The context for all of this is that it's a Hollywood show that is made for profit and nothing else. So what you see on screen is all that they're doing, and they're not doing anything else. That's the theme here, basically. So it's basically all surface level. So first of all, the backstories, just like with every reality show, the backstories were completely created. Oftentimes made these people look really bad. Like they had one dude who was like overweight, said he was a candy enthusiast that kept candy all over his car, and they like placed candy wrappers on his car, and they put a cotton candy machine in his trunk. More on the cotton candy machine in a minute.
Wait, do you think maybe we should explain Pimp My Ride in case there are people older or younger than 30 listening?
I suppose so. Pimp My Ride was a show in the 90s where this rapper Exhibit would host this show, and he would choose someone who was supposedly in a hard financial situation and had a broken down old car, and they would fix it up and make it super nice and include all these ridiculous over the top customizations that were based on their personality, such as a cotton candy machine in the trunk. So that's basically the premise of the show. So moving on, but from the fake personalities, is they never fixed the cars. They never fixed the mechanical issues in these cars. They just put the pimped out shit on top of the broken down car. So much so that there was a tow truck on hand at all times, flatbed tow truck, that would escort the cars home, because more often than not, or at least like 50% of the time, they did not make it back to the person's house.
Wow, so
Yeah.
they didn't do anything to the engines, or
Right.
like they didn't soup it up or fix it. They just like put on the accoutrement,
Made it look good for the camera. Exactly.
made it look good for the camera.
And
Yeah,
not
wow.
to mention, even though they made it look like
What
it
a
only took
bunch of pricks.
right, even though they made it look like it only was taking a few days, it was actually, of course, taking months, during which time people were forced to find their own public transportation they had to pay for.
When they could have just gone and gotten their fucking car fixed.
Right,
Oh my God.
exactly.
Back in the 90s when people could afford to
But
do that.
That's the most minimal of this expose. Moving on to the next
Oh,
level.
no.
Yeah, and point B of that first level is that many of the mods had to be removed immediately because they weren't even street legal or functional. Like the cotton candy machine that had no lid, he just had cotton candy swirls all over his car, had to remove it. There was one that had a champagne bar, retractable. It would come up out of like the seats or whatever in the back and in the car. But then they were like, oh, wait, if this person ever gets in an accident, they'll have champagne in their car. So they had to remove that. Like a lot of these things didn't even wind up staying in the cars, you know, and people had to pay to remove them. Anyways, the next one that's so much worse is that basically every worker that was working in these shops were underpaid, undocumented immigrants who were worked crazy numbers of hours. I watched an actual interview with one of the workers who said he was working 60 to 80 hours a week, minimum wage, no overtime, you know, and he's undocumented, so he can't complain. That's kind of par for the course, I feel like, in a lot of industries, but it's pretty fucked up.
You're going like 80,000 miles a minute here. Let's slow down and like linger on a couple of these points.
All right.
So who was the rapper that did all this? It was Exhibit?
X to the Z Exhibit was the host of the show, not the, you know, producer.
Is he the one who died like not too long ago?
Did he die? Oh, Swaggy, look that up for us real quick. Is Exhibit alive? But yeah, I don't know who. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, he is. Who am I thinking about?
I don't know.
Swaggy, look up recently deceased rappers. Let us know.
Prince died recently, but he's not a rapper.
Prince, that is not who I'm thinking about.
Okay.
I'm thinking about someone else.
DMX, maybe? That was a little while ago. Yeah.
It's an app. It's a rapper who I've never listened to, basically, who has an X in his name. So that's got to be it.
Okay, yeah. That wasn't
What
that
about,
long ago, I guess.
Triple X Tentacion.
Oh, that guy too.
No, it was Exhibit. No, DMX.
Yeah.
They have no. I'm sorry. There's no differentiation in my brain between these people.
That's
I have no
funny.
idea.
It's pretty funny. So yeah.
So they had immigrants working there 60 to 80 hours a week.
Yep.
I'm assuming this was like just MTV being complete scum. I have no idea how much Exhibit knew about it. Maybe you're gonna tell us though.
I don't know. There's no answers as to how much Exhibit was in on the corruption. I would think minimally he was probably just an employee of the show like anybody else, probably more well paid than the others, but
probably more well paid than the undocumented workers slaving away for 80 hours a week.
Right.
I don't understand why it takes that long to like super glue a pinball machine to a truck or whatever anyway.
Well,
if you're not even doing it well.
Well, I'm sure they were working on other cars at the same time. These were actual shops they were working with. But, I mean, I don't know, man. There's probably pressure to get it out quick. That's not even the worst of it. Let me move on to the absolute most insane thing, okay?
Okay.
After all of this has gone down, hasn't been exposed to the public yet, the thing that eventually brought it all out, all right, the catalyst event, the executive producer of the show, the head honcho, murdered his wife in Mexico.
Does that is that related to the show, or
I mean,
it's just an ancillary detail?
It's just another thing to stack up. Like, none of these things
Right.
are necessarily interrelated, but it's all, if he's the head honcho and all this fucked up shit is happening and it turns out he's a murderer, then it kind of starts to make sense that the culture of the show was real fucked up.
Yeah.
You know,
all right, I hear you.
He took her to Mexico for her 40th birthday, murdered her before the birthday even came around. Then, of course, was already a person of interest in her murder in Mexico, attempted to flee, but the place he tried to flee to was Los Angeles. So, of course, he got caught. And
you want to go the other direction, buddy.
I don't know, right. And that was how, I was just like, wow, what a fucking rabbit hole of the Pimp My Ride corruption train that was. Like,
yeah, when you first introduced this story, I thought you were going to talk about how it's like the new thing. And I was like, that's why I was like, it's still going? Like, that's insane.
No.
That's something they could bring back, like Cribs. You remember Cribs?
Oh, yeah. MTV Cribs, baby. That was the era when MTV stopped being about music entirely.
Yeah, well, it's semi about music. You go check out Rob Zombie's like Goth Mansion and stuff.
There was a few fun things, yeah. But my question is, what would be your ultimate pimped out ride, Mr. Sloane?
That's funny. I was going to ask you the same thing during the segment, and then I was like, wait a minute. He's probably going to ask me that at the end here.
Great minds do think alike.
Oh, man, I don't know. Maybe like a really good vinyl player in it would be cool.
One that would function while the car is bumping around.
I would say a drinks bar, but is probably a bad idea since it's a car. But I'm going to say it anyway, just because, like, when I take my car camping and stuff, just have, like, a fold-out bar in the back with all kinds of, like, delicious booze.
What about this?
Wouldn't do me good here.
What about
I'm
this?
Tim Allen.
It's-
Do you hear him?
Oh, there he is.
Go away,
It's coming
Tim.
back around. Tim,
Go away.
we're just talking about booze. It's not actually here, Tim.
Just talking about alcohol, Hurricane Tim Allen.
It just comes around anyways. You could switch it out for like a nice juice bar when you're driving, and then when you go camping, you switch the juice out for a nice, like some beer taps or something. Yeah.
Ooh, or I have, like, the sister to our Wiener Dog Joe cappuccino machine installed.
Oh, fancy.
Have cappuccinos. Because that way on the sweet long road trips, you just got your cappuccinos right there.
Right. Wow.
All the flavors of the rainbow, as they say.
Well, X to the Z
No.
exhibit. If you
Did
want to
not say
come,
that?
if you want to come and pimp out Salinger's ride, or better yet, you know what? If you want to come and make us a pimped out Wiener Dog Joe mobile, let's talk about that. All right, leave something
Let's
down
talk
in the
about
comments. Yeah, and
What would that be?
I mean, it's up to exhibit. That's kind of how it goes, right? He comes up, he knows your personality, and he comes up with your perfect ride, based on your fake personality that they create for you for the show.
I'm not sure. I think maybe if we just had it happen for real, but I don't think I want the treatment that people got on the show. You know what I mean? That sounds bad.
Right. Well, all right. How about this? X to the Z. This is your chance to redeem yourself. If you can prove to the world that you can pimp out a ride for real, actually fixing the problems, using labor that's paid well and ethical, and then not murdering anyone, maybe you can make a comeback with Pimp My Ride here in 2022. This could be, you could piggyback off our publicity, our popularity to slingshot your show for the reboot.
There you go, exhibit. If you want to do that, then give Salinger Sloane a call. I'm not interested personally.
1-800-WIENER-DOG.
1-800-WIENER-DOG/Salinger.
You're Salinger. I'm Bogart.
Wait,
Fats.
I'm Salinger. You're Bogart Fats. Yeah. Well, let's move on.
All right, moving on to what do we got next?
We got Swaggy's corner, man. What you got for us today, Swaggy?
Yeah. First of all, I'll give you a quick answer on the marriage of an animal question.
Right.
I love how this works. Is we always forget that we asked him something. We finish a stupid segment, and then he's like, "Do you want to know?" And we're like, "Oh yeah."
Right.
I do want to know, actually.
So no, national law actually, addresses the topic of animal marriage. So while it's, legal to have, a marriage with an animal, it won't give you, any kind of tax exemption or won't be recognized, by the law in any kind of legal document. So, yeah, I don't know if that helps the landlord situation, but...
Yeah, I mean, I think the way I would imagine that playing out is she's like, no, see, I married my cat. And they're like, what are you talking about? That's not legally binding. You can't just keep your cat in a cat-free house because you married it. Had a marriage ceremony.
It's pretty.
I don't know
weird
how.
concept.
I didn't go too deep into that.
Did they have have a wedding?
Deborah wore a tuxedo while the cat donned a bow tie, cape, and gold lame for their civil ceremony.
I'm in love
which
with
was
this.
officiated by a legally ordained friend.
I am in love with this situation. Picturing this is phenomenal.
The newlyweds celebrated with their wedding guests by having a picnic in the sunshine.
Do you have a photo of the cat at the wedding?
I don't have the wedding photo. I have a photo of them though.
Oh.
It's a very wholesome photo.
Do you have the technology to send that over from the island?
Yeah, I'll use the satellite.
Okay, there's a satellite there. Okay. Interesting that the cannibals. Interesting that the cannibals, still satellite.
It's like a handheld satellite. It's like marine navigation kind of stuff that I was given.
Right.
It all makes sense. Stop questioning things.
Okay.
Stop questioning. So there's the photo. It's a very nice little photo. It just becomes dark and strange when you know the background.
Very cute. Oh, wide-eyed kitty. Very cute. I want to see the kitty wearing a tuxedo, but, sometimes...
Well, I'm sure there are many other pictures online you can find of things like that.
Cats in a tuxedo, yeah.
But yeah, Swaggy's Corner. Swaggy brings in a corner every week. We do this every week. We've done it every week for 45 episodes. And we never know what it's going to be. So a little time for our intern to flex his creative muscles if he wants.
I had a question for you guys. So, on the off chance that the concept of hell is real, and for whatever reason, you two have ended up there.
We're talking about like the Christian hell?
Yeah, the Christian hell.
Okay.
Happens to be true.
Not the Norse hell.
No, not the Norse hell. Yeah. And you're allowed to choose 3 roommates, each of you, to be with for all of eternity. Who would they be and why?
In hell.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, so first off, Bogart, we have to figure out, like, we have to think, what would hell be, you know?
Right.
Do you think it's like, is it like South Park hell, where it is hell, but everyone's just like chilling out, like going to like barbecues and stuff?
I think we have to go with the traditional pain and torture and burning for eternity of Christian hell here. But, of course, that limits our pool of potential roommates to those who are in
Not
hell.
necessarily. We could yank them out of heaven.
I don't think we have that power. I think we have to choose from the hell pool.
Anybody? Swaggy, is this anybody throughout history, even if they're
anyone,
in heaven?
Like, who you think would be permitted into the Christian definition of hell. So, I think that's a pretty large pool of people.
It's pretty large, but it is limited. We can't choose Jesus.
Damn.
That'd have been my first one. Who would I want to hang out in hell with for all of eternity? It depends who's a good conversationalist. I think what you would need is humor. Someone with a really like sardonic, dark sense of humor. So, and would probably be in hell anyway. So probably Hunter Thompson would be a good one.
That would be excellent.
He's just like making hilarious remarks the whole time, like being really angry.
Another one that would be great is someone I've mentioned on the show before, Norm MacDonald.
Norm.
Rest in peace down there, Mr. McDonald.
Yeah, him just like commenting on hell in that voice of his.
Yup, yeah, you got this
Hey,
going on
yeah.
over here. The fucking river
Yeah.
of blood over there. You know, I don't know. Yeah, it's great.
All I want is a cheese sandwich. Yeah, I don't know. Fuck's sake, what a question.
Barney?
You think Jim Morrison's in hell?
Oh, definitely. I would
Yeah,
love to have
probably.
Jim Morrison as a roommate. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he and I could we could find some hell mushrooms and eat them, just see what happens with Jim.
The question was also why though? Why Jim?
Oh, I think like in the same vein that Hunter has like a really wild soul and would have a lot to say, Jim would be on kind of a different spectrum where he would be like waxing poetic about the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, he'd have a weird philosophy about it that I think would be interesting.
He'd be like
you know?
embracing it, taking it in, kind of one with it.
And dude, if there are hell drugs, these are the 2 men who will find them.
That is true. That is damn
and you
true.
want to be with these guys.
Right.
Yeah, because if you're in hell for eternity, dude, you got to find some sweet drugs to do.
Indeed,
For sure.
indeed. And you know, I
Maybe
think
that's why we're there to begin with.
we have already chosen 3, but I think someone like an incredibly deep thinking philosopher like Nietzsche or something would be amazing as well for the stimulation.
Nietzsche would be kind of a killjoy. He'd be like, see, I knew it. Everything
It's true.
It is the abyss. It stares back. There's nothing you can do for all of eternity. Like, dude, we're here. Like, make the best of it. Grill up a dog. I don't know.
Who would you
He's
choose?
like, no.
Who would you choose instead?
Ooh, I like the idea of a philosopher. Who's a happy philosopher?
Not a lot of those. The
go to hell
world
with,
isn't
yeah.
happy.
No. I don't know who my third one would be.
Swaggy.
Yeah.
Why don't you throw what do you got?
Yeah,
throw
you add one
in
to
there
the list for us.
Yeah.
Chuck one in. Spice it up.
Who's your roommate? Hell roommate.
No, you have to choose one for us.
Oh, okay, for us.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you get to choose one in this wild scenario. Robin Williams.
I was gonna
You're pretty good.
actually say Robin Williams, yeah.
No.
Or
You were actually
Really?
thinking of that?
I was literally going to. Like, that's not even a joke.
Damn.
But
I have the power.
Yeah. I was also gonna say like Vincent Van Gogh, but
Vincent Van Gogh would be amazing. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
We don't speak the same language, but we would learn to.
Yeah,
We
also
have
very,
eternity.
very depressing to hang out with him as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, but you could take the drugs that you find with Hunter and Jim and watch him paint.
That would be pretty fun.
That'd be cool.
Watching the art that might come out of a collaboration between Jim Morrison and Vincent Van Gogh would be something else.
Yeah. Where you just sing over the painting.
I don't know. Poetry, something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
Could figure out all new kinds of art in this scenario. You know, things that have never been tried before. But yeah, that's Swaggy's Corner, and that's our answer. I guess the third one will just say Van Gogh.
yeah.
Fuck it.
Robin
Yeah.
Williams, Van Gogh, whatever.
Yeah, same
Pretty
deal.
much the same person.
All right. So, next on the agenda today, we are going to look at some dating profiles. We've never done this before, but we had the idea when the listeners kept writing in, asking us to check on their Tinder profiles or their Grindr profiles, you know, whatever profile for whatever service you're on.
We are the leading source of dating profile advice, dating profile hacks, if you will. For
Well, we're not yet, because they just said we've never done this before.
well, people want it. People want it.
But we aim to be, and I think we have. I think we can do it.
So these are a couple of the worst dating profiles that we have been sent thus far.
Oh, I tried to pick the best one.
Oh, you picked a good one.
Well, it'll depend.
Let's say this. Let's say this.
I'll do yours,
these-
and then you do mine.
Okay, these are some of the most entertaining ones we've found thus far. We'll put it like that. And I'm going to read the one that Salinger found, and he's going to read the one that I've pulled out.
Okay, let's start with Gunner, age 37. I'm going to tell you what I told my first 2 wives. We're adults, and I expect you to act like one. This is apparently his profile. I've never seen this before. Bogart just sent this over to me. We're adults, and I expect you to act like one. This means you will show up to our date on time, looking scrupulous, so he can't spell very well, and allow me to order you something light from the menu. I will pay for our meal, and then give you a ride home. If you manage to avoid childish topics of conversation, such as movies, music, sports, hobbies, basically anything that doesn't involve money, then I might kiss you. Wow, this guy. Now I'll be straight with you. Your friends are jealous that I swiped right on you. Show them my pics. They might say they aren't jealous, but believe me, they are. You should feel good about that. I own the largest collection of Civil War memorabilia in the entire state. I have a certificate from the State Board of Historical Authenticity. It's hanging in my den. Oh, also, you are not a mother to a fur baby. You're a dog owner. No single mothers, no gold diggers, no drama. Trump 2024. Oh my God. Oh, I feel like I need to lay down after that. This man's 37. That's 3 years older than me.
The delivery. Your delivery was great. I think you really brought Gunner to life there.
Gunner as well. Is he Swedish? I guess we don't know.
I don't know. It sounds pretty redneck to me. It's like
Gunnar?
Hunter.
It's like Gunnar. Gunnar, though.
Gunnar.
Yeah. So, like, where do we even start with this one? Holy bananas.
It's a lot to unpeel there.
There's a lot to unpeel. First, I would say you need to work on your personality, okay, Gunnar?
A lot.
Your personality, your interests. Understand that. I mean, okay, here's a question. Can we fix this? Is this even fixable?
I don't know, man. Is this man fixable? Is he capable of completely misrepresenting himself and possibly getting a date? Sure. Is he capable of keeping that up for more than a week or two? Probably not.
I guess it depends, right? Because the advice that I could give him would be for women he clearly doesn't want to get with, you know? I think the kind of women he wants to get with, I would have no idea, like, what to tell him. Because that's not the kind of women I look for. You know, the ones who will just be, like, subservient, like, I don't know what he wants, like, chattel?
Well, that is something I noticed about this ad, is that he doesn't say anything about himself. It's all about what he expects in a partner. Like, it's just automatic that he's the ultimate prize. And then, and then he's just, you know, if you live up to my standards.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's like, I have standards. I'm amazing. If you are like 100% do whatever I say. It's like, dude, this is like a dating profile from like 1952 or something.
His first
like,
two
you will
wives.
have dinner on time when I arrive home from the office,
And
etc.
he's already been divorced twice, so clearly it's working out for him great.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Minor
But-
detail. I forgot about that in the midst of everything else.
And he's really into his, Civil War memorabilia, his collection of Civil War memorabilia.
Yeah, he doesn't really go into detail on that, although the ending of Trump 2024 kind of gives me a tone here.
Right. Like which side of the
Kinda
Civil
getting the
War
tone
are you
here.
collecting memorabilia from? Essentially,
The one whose side God was on, okay?
Mm.
I'm sure.
Right, indeed,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah.
Well.
I think I don't know how to tackle that one. I'm sorry, Gunnar.
Ladies, stay away from
I think-
Gunnar.
Yeah, I think reevaluate your life is what I would say.
It's a tough one. It's a tough
Although-
one.
Yeah. Okay, let me send this one over to you.
Using the satellite.
Using the satellite, yes, indeed.
All right, let's pull this out here. Beep, boop, boop, bloop. Satellite noises.
That was a nice satellite noise.
Thank you.
That was pro.
Dear Wiener Dog Joe, my name is James. I'm 18 and fresh on the Tinder scene and have never been in a relationship before. I figure I need to play myself up a bit to gain the attention of the ladies, so I carefully constructed this cool profile. Love to hear your thoughts. Username, Jimmy Crack Cornhole. Well, first of all, we're going to need to work on this username.
Yeah. No, that's bad.
Jimmy Crack Cornhole.
I get it, though.
I mean, do you play cornhole, Jimmy? Are you a cornhole professional? Is that your...
No, I think it's like the Jimmy Crack corn, and I don't care.
And combined with tri-finger but hole?
Yeah, something like that.
Let's get rid of all of that and just go with Jimmy as your username. How's that sound? Okay,
James,
Jimmy?
Or James, yeah.
Yeah, stick with James. So James is doing that. Now the bio. Let's look at this. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God. All right, I'm gonna try to get through this.
You can do it. I believe in you. I've seen this. I know it's coming.
I crack cornhole and I don't care. I'm a slurper and a pounder of extraordinary ability, and I'll leave a trail of quivering bodies in my wake. Ain't no brag, bae, but that's fact.
I like how his accent has completely changed. He sounded like a nice young man, and then now he does not at all. He sounds like the last guy probably actually does.
that other person was Jimmy Crack Cornhole. This is James, all right?
Okay, sure.
I am also the most sensitive man on earth. I'll cook you flowers and bring you breakfast. I'll rub those shoulders, girl. Paradise is just a PM away. You feel me? All right. Oh, he's got down at the bottom here. Interests listed as badminton tournaments, hentai, mayonnaise, and poning noobs in Call of Duty. Favorite band? Snoop Doggy Dogg.
That's a good band. That's a good band.
My favorite band too. Tough to
Where
be
do we
too-
start with this?
Well, it's tough to be too hard on an 18-year-old. We gotta go
That
light.
is
We gotta
true.
go easy.
I think he's just overcompensating for, I don't think that these are deeply ingrained. I think he's saying what he thinks people want to hear and not getting that correct at all. But the first part of the profile is the one where it's not his profile, but he's talking to us. Sounds like a normal kid.
Right. And then we go into I'm a slurper and a pounder of extraordinary ability. Something changed there.
Quite a statement.
I'm having trouble. I mean, one thing I can't say is that it does evoke a mental image. That's for sure. I'm not sure if it's good or bad, but it's there.
It is linguistically powerful in its own way. It has a lot of flavor. I don't know if that flavor is good or bad, but I don't think you're going to read that profile and forget him real quick.
That's for damn sure.
So, and maybe like the audacity of that statement would rustle some jimmies.
You know what?
Lady Jimmys.
Here's the thing. All right, here's what we're gonna say, Jimmy. I want you to go and I want you to try this profile. Definitely not with the name Jimmy Crack Cornhole. But other than that, I want you to leave it the same, and I want you to report back to us next in a week and let us know how this goes.
Yeah.
You know what? Get rid of hentai in the interests as well. Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah.
It's a little much.
What about? Yeah, I think like you might say gaming instead of poning noobs. It makes you sound like a little bit sweaty.
I think you want a certain type of chick, and poning noobs is solid for that.
But maybe that's the same kind of chick who likes hentai as well.
I don't know. Is it the same type of chick who likes slurpers and pounders of extraordinary ability?
I am not going to touch that question at all.
All right. Well, I am curious. Hey, worst case scenario, you don't get any matches and you change it, and no harm, no foul. You know. So, all right. Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I would be genuinely curious to see how the slightly modified version of that profile would play out. Genuinely,
right? In
maybe
real
we'll
life.
get Swaggy to do it as well.
Okay.
On his Tinder.
All right, Swaggy, that's your project for the week.
Modify it.
Put together that Tinder profile for us, please.
Yeah, once we figure out what's up with the APB, get them off our backs, and then have you come get me in the balloon. So it might take a while before we get to this Tinder thing, but those are our dating profiles of the day.
Dating profiles of the day.
Dating profiles of the day. You gotta say it like that. It makes it sound official and like morning show-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is the morning after all, and this is
It's
a show.
It's the morning for you, baby. How's Dudley doing? How's he doing over there?
He's doing great. He's still trying to drink my cappuccino, but
What flavor are you drinking?
I just told you it's the distilled Flamin' Cheeto Mountain Dew
right.
flavor.
You're doing that one.
Yeah. But yeah, he's been great. He's shedding his fur 'cause it's getting hot here in LA. You know, springtime, summertime coming around. So he's been great though, man. He's still a chonker. You know, he's still a chonker.
He's chonking.
Chonking
Dude, I'll
about.
hang out with him outside and just watch him mow through grass. It's hilarious. He doesn't throw up or anything. He's just he just loves to fucking eat, man. Even if it's grass.
I think he misses you. I think he does.
Oh, my buddy.
Yeah.
My Dudlington.
Oh,
He'll be back soon.
He'll be home soon. He'll be home soon, Mr. Dudley.
Be back soon. We'll get this all handled. We'll send a hit squad after Miss Yamtoes.
Indeed.
And, yeah.
I don't know. Let's move on to the mailbag.
Today, you can tell we're discombobulated. We're not in the same room. Things are weird.
It's a bobulation of discont.
It's a bobulation of this.
Of discon today.
But let's move on to the mailbag. Our last
Indeed.
segment of the day. If you would like something read from the mailbag, leave a comment below or shoot us an email at wienerdogjoe@gmail.com. Swaggy, what do we got in the mailbag?
All right. So from user not Frodo 420, we have a kill bang marry question.
We like to do these on the show. We do a lot of these.
Yeah. And it's Aragorn, Legolas, or Gimli.
I feel like we already did a Lord of the Ring themed one of these not that long ago. But
We did. I think it was the Hobbits, right?
Right.
I actually think that one didn't go out. That was on one of the episodes that didn't go out. Although
I
could be wrong. I've been wrong about that before.
Whoever wrote that letter, and please tell us in the comments whether we read it on the previous episode or not.
Or anybody can do it if they know. It doesn't have to be that guy.
No, I want it.
You want it to be not Frodo?
Yes. No,
Yeah.
whoever wrote the other letter about the hobbits.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, maybe they got so angry that we never answered it that they just stopped listening.
All right. So what were our options? They were Legolas, Aragorn, and Gimli.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
All right.
correct.
Well, I am going to avoid sexual contact with Gimli. So I guess
Why?
he has to die.
Oh, no, why?
Because, I mean, we're talking about Orlando Bloom and Viggo Mortensen or whatever his last name, Morgan.
You got it. No, you got it right.
Mortensen?
You got it right.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
Good.
Like, that was
soft clap for that.
80% of a guess.
Yeah. Well done.
I mean, come
For
on.
a
You
man
tell
who
me.
watches one movie a year.
Right.
That's pretty good.
You're telling me that, and that's the one movie I watch. You're telling me that.
Just every year.
Yeah.
Dude, my friend's dad, side note here, I remember my friend's dad, he was such a huge Lord of the Rings fan, and when it came out, he cried in the theater when Gandalf died, like hardcore.
Aw.
And then every time he would see that scene, no, I remember we were in a video store and it just came up on the wall and his dad started crying in like Blockbuster.
That's amazing.
I felt bad, but I was like, he just loves Gandalf. Like, he just loves this movie so much. It was so effective to him as an old school Lord of the Rings nerd.
I love that. You know, my dad actually had a not quite as extreme, but a similar friend who, when the first one came out, he went to see it in the theaters 3 times. He just was such a huge fan.
That's not that crazy. 3 times. There are people who see movies like 50 times in the theaters. That's
I
when
guess
it
that's
gets
fair.
like crazy.
Yeah, that's true. There's always someone who's a bigger enthusiast than you.
Dude, people do not know if you weren't around, if you weren't like cognizant at that point in time, like around the turn of the century. But Lord of the Rings was fucking huge. It was so big. Such a huge movie. Nerds, non-nerds, everyone was seeing that shit because it was really goddamn good. So you're gonna kill Gimli because you're a monster, and you're going purely based on looks.
Yep. Well, also personality. I mean, I think that, okay, here's what I would do. I would marry Aragorn. We're talking about the characters, not the actors, first of all. We got to make that clear. And I would marry Aragorn because, like, come on, he's the king. Like, right? Let's be real. You want to marry the king, right?
Yeah, that's true. I kind of didn't think about that. I thought about him, like, wandering the lands, and I was like, sounds exhausting. But you're right. He's king at this point, if we're doing it at the end.
And I think that with Legolas, you're more likely to live in, like, some, like, you know, little woodland village somewhere or something, whereas with Aragorn you get the kingdom, you know.
Yeah,
They both sound nice.
if you married Legolas, you could just like hit on hot elf babes though all the time.
Could you? I mean, you're married to Legolas.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're elves, man. They probably like dance under the moonlight and swing till the swing under the stars till the sun comes up.
What are they swinging on?
Each other.
Oh, swing is in swingers.
Yeah, swinging like a key party, you know.
Okay.
They put the keys to their tree houses in the bowl and
It's just open love.
get rustling. Yeah, I mean it's like under the starlight. That's what I would think. So you're saying you're saying kill Gimli. I guess so. I mean, I like Gimli. He's a fun guy.
Me too.
But I wouldn't want to bang him.
Right.
And I wouldn't want to live with him. He's like where does Gimli go at the end of that? Because like everyone kind of has their place. I guess the dwarves like.
I don't remember what happens
What
to
are the
Gimli
dwarves up to?
after.
I guess he probably goes to some dwarf kingdom that we never saw.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lore. I just don't remember it.
Yeah. Well, you fail.
Someone leave that in the comments. Actually, Swaggy, you think you could Google that real quick for us?
Yeah,
Look
where
that
does
up for us.
Gimli go
Yeah.
after the end of Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, what
That'd be great.
happens to
Yeah, I
Gimli?
have it like right up right now. So after the war, Gimli led a large number of Durin's folk, which are the dwarves, south to establish a new dwarf realm at Aglarond. And he became
Yes,
the first
my
lord
favorite of the Rons.
of the Glittering Caves. So yeah, he's in it.
Okay.
Okay. So he went
But-
to go do dwarf stuff.
Is that in? That's not in the movies. I'm not sure if that's even in the books.
No, it's not in the movies.
Yeah, not in the
Yeah.
movies.
It's probably in the 7th appendices of the 3rd chapter of the 2nd Silmarillion.
Unironically, the appendix to the Return of the King is like my favorite part of the whole trilogy. It's amazing. It's full of such wonderful lore. Yeah.
Oh, Swaggy agrees. I have to take your word for
It's
it.
really good. It's like basically that and the Silmarillion provide all the lore, but the appendix is almost better because it's just right after you've read the trilogy and it's all right there and really relevant. Whereas the Silmarillion is like, you know, pretty distantly relevant to the events of the trilogy, you know. But yeah, it's great. It's great.
There you go, folks.
So-
So here's your Tolkien knowledge of the day.
Yeah, your joke actually was like unironically true.
And yeah, I think I'll go about the same. Gimli's got to go. I think I'd marry Legolas. I think like being married to Aragorn once he's king and has all those kingly duties be a little bit much. You'd be like expected to go to like the you know kingly galas and like all these parties with politicians, whereas it's like, dude, I just want to party in the woods with some hot elves.
It's not a bad life. It's not a bad life as opposed to being a public figure. But you
Drink
know what I mean?
moon wine,
You're still
you know?
banging Legolas. You can still go hang out with him in the woods. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because you're married.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'd go with the bang Legolas, marry Aragorn, and then I just hang out in the woods sometimes with the elves if I wanted to. Fuck it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Well, there's your answers, not Frodo. Let's move on to the next one.
All right. So, Justice for Johnny writes in simply saying, "Fuck Amber Heard." That's it.
Yeah. Fuck that
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
Yeah.
well, that's a great comment. I'm glad we got that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Fuck Amber Heard.
Yep.
PSA to everyone out there. Fuck Amber Heard.
Fuck that bitch.
We're big Johnny fans here at Wiener Dog Joe. Silver lining, I guess, of that whole trial is that everyone is seeing what a monster she is. But yeah, let's move on. That's just a good one. Short and sweet. I like it. Not even a question.
Thanks for
Just
thanks
saying
for
what's
writing
on
in.
all our minds.
Yeah. Thanks for writing in with that.
Yeah.
All right. Juicy Tofu inquires,
Love the name.
I'm planning a long, extensive trip through Europe. And since you guys have been there before, I wonder if you could give me some ideas of places to check out.
Oh wow.
We got to limit this.
Yeah. Well, do we want to give serious answers or ridiculous answers?
No, I mean, whatever comes to mind. One of the most beautiful places we went to that I've ever been to as well is a place called Meteora in Greece. It's like
Yes.
an hour or two north of Athens. We rented a car, and it's just beautiful. Look up pictures. Look up pictures of Meteora, Greece, and you will see. You will see how astonishing that place is.
Unbelievable rock formations with monasteries built on top that are truly marvels of engineering. And it's weird that you mentioned that because actually me and my girlfriend were just talking about Meteora recently. Remember when we heard the nuns singing? We were checking out their garden after their like nunnery was closed. We were outside and we could hear them singing. It was incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. I have two abiding memories beyond just like the general beauty of the place. One is that on our way up, we kept stopping at different places, and like there was a fucking like half-empty juice box at every single stop we were at.
Right.
It's like who is doing this? Who's letting their kids just leave these juice boxes at all these beautiful locations? It's so annoying.
Humanity in a nutshell.
Seriously. And then the other one is like we went to go smoke our hookah overlooking the valley and overlooking like the nunnery and stuff. Just like climb down the road. That was cool.
It was amazing sitting out on this rock, just looking out over this incredible landscape, smoking a full-on hookah.
Puff puff. We carried a hookah for through 8 countries.
Oh, it was amazing.
Not a joke.
Yeah.
We had like an extra bag just for a fucking
Attached
hookah.
to my backpack, this fucking hookah. Carried it up a mountain. It was like
up a
insane.
mountain, lit it up in restaurants, and be like, "Can we do this?" They'd like look around, and be like, "I guess." They go
Right.
near the door.
Technically, you're
Perks of
allowed to
being in
smoke
Europe,
here.
man.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. I would say you got to see some of the Gaudi. You got to see Casa Batlló. That is my favorite Gaudi building in Barcelona, and one of my favorite things I've ever seen in my life. It's truly incredible. It's just this absolute wonderland, like underwater theme where the windows are shaped like jellyfish, and the roof looks like some sort of beach with all these colors. It's just wonderful. That's what I would recommend if I had choose one thing in Europe for someone to see.
Yeah, Gaudi's super cool. Super cool buildings. They're ridiculous, that's for sure.
Gaudi's
And
Italian
also,
cousin.
Don't underestimate the beauty of Croatia. Go check out Croatia, people. It's maybe a place you haven't thought about when you don't think about it when you think about, oh, I'm going to Europe. But check out Croatia.
Right.
Croatia is super cool.
So we've recommended 2 specific places and then an entire country. So that's just
There you go. All right, let's go on. Let's move on. There's some Europe talk for today.
All
what else do we
right.
got?
Joseph R. Biden wants to know,
Okay.
where did I put my prune juice?
Oh wow. Well. First of all, President Biden, I'd like to thank you for writing in. It's a great honor and privilege to be able to help you find your prune juice.
Yeah, I don't know where he put it. Do you think he thought we were somebody else when he wrote in?
I don't know what's going on here with this message.
Yeah, no.
But I'll tell you what, Joe. You come on down in the studio. I'll give you some prune juice, and then you can go about your day.
Oh, dude, Joe. if you want to come on the show or just come hang out with us, it'd be interesting. We'd be on.
Interesting.
We'll do we'll get you a prune flavored cappuccino, man. We'll have one programmed.
Specialty.
Just for Joe Biden. So yeah, Joe, we don't know where your prune juice is, man. I don't know why you asked us to begin with.
Sorry. Yeah, like Richard Nixon writes in with all these really specific questions, but Joe, I don't know what to make of this, buddy.
Yeah. Speaking of Nixon, man, we haven't heard from him in a minute, but I'm sure it won't be long.
All right,
it's never long.
He's sure to be angry at us rejecting his offer.
It's never long. Yeah. Well, he threatened to get Swaggy in the end, one way or the other.
Right.
But that's the long game. We got to focus on the short game. But any more mailbags for us today, Swaggles?
We've got one more mailbag. It's a 3-parter, and it's from Miss Yamtoes.
Oh,
whoa.
Miss Yamtoes.
Are you fucking kidding?
No.
Oh my God.
We
Okay.
got a bone to pick with her.
Okay.
So her first question is, how are you liking the island?
Fuck you. Next question.
Follow-up question, how do you like the surprise I sent?
I'm guessing that means the blow-up doll. The Elden Ring blow-up doll, because that was the only thing I found here.
Very cryptic.
I'm not liking it at all. Miss Yamtoes.
Oh,
No.
Miss Yamtoes.
No, this is not acceptable.
You sneaky one.
I should have known is the thing. The whole thing just didn't make sense when you think about it with any kind of logic. How anyone would know what my dream woman is flying me out to this island. What's the third one?
You're a sucker for love. What can you say?
Third one is an offer. If he, and I assume by he, she means Mr. Salinger Sloane, if he stays and does another episode from the island, then I will reveal a clue about my motives.
Oh, wow. Mr. Sloane.
No, I don't trust it.
I think you have to.
I don't trust it. I think we can get somebody to private eye this shit.
So you think we don't accept the offer and we force the information out of her somehow? Or pry it? Find it.
What do you think?
I mean, I'm really curious about her motives and who she might be working for. I don't know, man. Can you stay one more night on the island?
Is it one more night or one more episode?
Well, our next episode is tomorrow morning, right?
Oh, right. Okay.
So, you gotta survive one more night with the cannibals.
I guess I could stave them off for one more night. My worry is that this is just a troll as well, because this whole thing has been a troll. But I'll do it for you. And
Perhaps
after the
it's
show,
not.
you and I have got to strategize how to get me out of here.
Right.
Because, I mean, like, I might just be here for another night already anyway. I don't know how I'm getting off. The only way, you have to defend the studio. Swaggy's locked up. How am I getting out?
Well, this is the dramatic cliffhanger we're going to leave this episode on. Is Miss
Dun, dun,
Yamtoes
dun.
is Miss Yamtoes indeed trolling, or does she have motives? Is there a method to her madness? Will that be revealed over time? Will Swaggy survive the heat of the bunker and find his way out? Will Mr. Fats and Evander Holyfield hold out with their pool of alligators against the Angry Penis Brigade? Tune in next time on Wiener Dog Joe and the Bun in the Morning to find out.
Next time on Wiener Dog Joe. And for now, we're out of here. Peace, love, and hand grenades, you wieners. Treat your jimmies well. Ba-doom, boom.
Mwah.
Mwah.
The sausage biscuit requiem has come. The sausage biscuit requiem has come. You have got the cheese, and I have got my gun. Together we dance under greasy moonlight. Hold me close, darling. Make me feel right. Blur, 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 diggy, dear. Cheese and sausage for the masses of the earth. And no, I will not allow you to give birth to the monster of cheese and doom.